Have you ever experienced a moment so strange and perfectly timed that it felt like the universe was speaking to you? You're at a crossroads, uncertain about your next move, when suddenly a book falls off a shelf, landing open on a passage that speaks directly to your dilemma. Or perhaps you're lost in thought, seeking clarity on a life decision, and at that very moment, a stranger walks past, uttering words that feel like they were meant for you. Coincidence? Or something more? Throughout history, countless individuals have reported experiences like these, moments where external reality seems to align mysteriously with their inner thoughts. The renowned Swiss psychologist Carl Jung coined a term for this phenomenon: synchronicity. Unlike random coincidences, synchronicities feel deeply meaningful, as if they are guiding us towards something greater, something unseen. But what if these moments are more than just chance? What if they are clues, whispers from the universe, nudging us in the right direction? And more importantly, what if we could learn to recognize and even attract more of them into our lives? In this exploration, we will dive deep into the mystery of synchronicity, uncovering its roots in psychology, spirituality, and even quantum science. You will discover how these moments are more than just lucky accidents. They may be a direct reflection of the hidden forces shaping our reality. By the end of this journey, you will not only understand the meaning behind synchronicities, but also learn how to use them as a compass for your life's decisions. Reality is not as random as it seems. Everything is connected. The question is, are you paying attention? Carl Jung and the psychology behind synchronicity. Have you ever felt like certain events in your life were mysteriously connected, as if an unseen force was guiding you? Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, believed this was no accident. He saw these strange coincidences not as random chance, but as meaningful patterns woven into the fabric of reality. He called this phenomenon synchronicity, events that are connected by meaning, not by direct cause and effect. Jung's fascination with synchronicity began through his work as a psychoanalyst. Over time, he noticed a peculiar pattern. His patients frequently reported odd coincidences that seemed to mirror their deepest thoughts or struggles. One of the most famous cases involved a woman in Jung's office who was describing a dream about a golden scarab beetle, a powerful symbol of transformation in ancient Egyptian mythology. At that very moment, Jung heard a tapping at the window. When he opened it, a golden beetle, uncommon in that region, flew inside. This moment startled both Jung and his patient, as if the universe itself had intervened to validate her inner experience. But Jung's theory of synchronicity wasn't just based on stories. It was deeply rooted in his concept of the collective unconscious, a vast hidden layer of the mind where universal symbols, archetypes, and deep psychological patterns exist. According to Jung, synchronicities occur when something from this hidden realm breaks into our conscious reality, appearing in the form of external events that perfectly align with our inner thoughts, emotions, or dilemmas. This idea challenges the very way we perceive reality. We are taught that the world operates on strict cause and effect. One thing leads to another in a logical sequence. But synchronicity suggests something entirely different. What if meaning itself is a force that connects events beyond time and space? Jung was not alone in this belief. His close friend, Wolfgang Pauli, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, was fascinated by the idea that synchronicity might have connections to quantum mechanics. In the quantum world, particles behave in ways that defy traditional logic. They can be entangled, influencing each other instantaneously across vast distances. Could the same unseen forces be at play in the events of our lives? Jung's work was groundbreaking because it bridged psychology, philosophy, and science, showing that the human mind and the external world are more deeply connected than we realize. If synchronicity is real, then perhaps reality isn't just a series of random events, but rather a living, intelligent system that responds to our thoughts and emotions. But if that's the case, then how do we recognize true synchronicities from simple coincidences? How do we know when the universe is speaking to us? That's what we'll explore next. ancient wisdom and spiritual views on synchronicity. Have you ever felt that life isn't random, that events are orchestrated by an invisible force? Long before Carl Jung coined the term synchronicity, ancient spiritual traditions had already recognized the mysterious patterns that guide our lives. Across cultures and centuries, philosophers, mystics, and sages have spoken of a hidden order, a force that ensures things happen not just by chance, but with meaning and purpose. In Hinduism and Buddhism, this concept aligns closely with karma, the idea that our thoughts, actions, and intentions shape the events we experience. Unlike a simplistic idea of reward and punishment, karma suggests that everything is connected in a vast web of causality. If you find yourself repeatedly encountering the same situations, people, or messages, it may not be a coincidence. It could be the unfolding of a deeper karmic pattern designed to teach you something. The Upanishads, ancient Hindu scriptures, emphasize that the outer world is a mirror of the inner self. This aligns with Jung's belief that synchronicities are external reflections of the unconscious mind. Similarly, in Buddhism, the law of dependent origination states that nothing exists independently. Everything arises due to interconnected causes. Could it be that synchronicities are signs of this hidden connection, reminding us that we are part of something greater? Hermeticism. As above, so below. One of the most profound teachings on synchronicity comes from Hermeticism, an esoteric philosophy dating back to ancient Egypt and Greece. The Hermetic principle of correspondence states, as above, so below, as within, so without. This means that the inner and outer worlds are not separate. They are reflections of one another. If synchronicities feel meaningful, it is because they are alignments between your inner consciousness and the external universe. In this view, the universe acts as a living mirror, responding to our deepest thoughts and emotions with external events that match them. Shamanism. Nature as a messenger. For indigenous shamanic traditions, synchronicity is not an abstract concept. It is a way of life. Shamans believe that the universe constantly communicates through signs, omens, and symbolic encounters with nature. For example, in many Native American traditions, encountering a specific animal repeatedly is considered a spiritual message. If a hawk crosses your path multiple times in a single day, it may not be just a coincidence. It could be a call to awaken your intuition and see beyond the obvious. Similarly, in the Amazonian shamanic tradition, dreams and visions are seen as direct messages from the spirit world, guiding individuals toward their destiny. Shamans teach that the more aware you become, the more you notice these hidden messages. Could it be that synchronicities are always happening, but only those who are open and attentive can recognize them? Nearly every major religious tradition has acknowledged meaningful coincidences as divine signs. Christianity speaks of divine providence, the belief that God orchestrates events to guide believers. Many report praying for a sign and receiving an unexpected answer through a dream, a passage in scripture, or an encounter that changes everything. Judaism has the concept of hashgacha pratit, meaning divine supervision, suggesting that God aligns events in precise ways to teach and direct individuals. Islam refers to ayat, literally meaning signs, which appear in both the Quran and the world itself, indicating divine wisdom at work. Hinduism speaks of dharma, a cosmic order that ensures everything unfolds according to a higher purpose, nudging individuals toward their true path. Despite differences in culture and belief, all these traditions point to the same idea. Reality is not random. There is a hidden intelligence, a guiding force that reveals itself through meaningful coincidences. So, if synchronicity has been recognized for thousands of years under different names, why do so many people dismiss it today? Have we lost our ability to listen to the universe's whispers? That's what we'll explore next. How to recognize true synchronicities and differentiate them from random chance. Recognizing real synchronicities. Have you ever wondered if an unusual coincidence was more than just random chance? If it was actually a message meant for you? Synchronicities often feel like the universe is speaking, but how do you know if an event truly carries meaning or if your mind is simply creating patterns where none exist? Not every coincidence is a synchronicity. Some are just random occurrences with no deeper significance. So how can you tell the difference? Carl Jung believed that real synchronicities have three key characteristics. 1. Emotional impact. The "this can't be random" feeling. One of the strongest signs of a true synchronicity is the intensity of your emotional reaction. When something happens that makes you pause, that sends chills down your spine, or fills you with an inexplicable sense of awe. Pay attention. For example, imagine you're considering leaving your job, but you're unsure if it's the right choice. As you walk through a bookstore, a book randomly falls off the shelf. You pick it up, and it's open to a page discussing career transitions and finding your true calling. That moment makes you stop. It feels personal, almost too perfect to be random. Jung suggested that meaningful coincidences often carry a psychological charge, a moment of realization, clarity, or even deep emotion. If an event immediately triggers an inner knowing or realization, it might be more than coincidence. 2. Repetition. The same sign appears again and again. Another powerful indicator is recurrence. If the same number, symbol, phrase, or theme keeps appearing in different places over a short period, it's worth examining. Many people who experience synchronicities report seeing repetitive numbers, often called angel numbers, like 1111, 333, or 777, on clocks, receipts, or license plates. Others may repeatedly hear the same song, run into the same person unexpectedly multiple times, or stumble across the same message in different books, conversations, or media. For example, let's say you keep hearing the name of a certain country everywhere, in conversations, in articles, in a random commercial on TV. Then you meet someone from that country unexpectedly. Could this be a sign that you are being drawn towards something significant? 3. Perfect timing. The sign arrives exactly when you need it. True synchronicities tend to appear at critical moments, right when you're seeking guidance, making a life decision, or going through a transition. For example, you're struggling with whether to stay in a relationship or move on. Then while walking outside, you overhear a stranger say, "Sometimes you have to let go to grow." The timing is so precise that it feels as if the universe has spoken directly to you. Religious and spiritual traditions often refer to these moments as divine timing, the idea that there is a hidden intelligence behind the unfolding of events. When a synchronicity happens at the exact moment you need it, it carries an unmistakable weight. Distinguishing real synchronicities from random coincidences. But how do you separate genuine synchronicities from mere chance? Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Did this event immediately grab my attention or evoke a strong emotional response? Has this sign or theme appeared multiple times recently? Did it show up at a particularly meaningful moment in my life? If you answer yes to all 3, you are likely experiencing a true synchronicity rather than just a coincidence. Some skeptics argue that synchronicities are simply a result of the brain's pattern-seeking tendency, known as apophenia. The human mind is wired to look for connections and assign meaning to random events. But this raises an even deeper question. What if reality itself is designed to be meaningful? What if the universe responds to the energy of our thoughts, emotions, and intentions? As we explore next, modern psychology and neuroscience offer fascinating insights into how our brains, perception, and subconscious mind play a role in the synchronicities we experience. Science and the brain's role in synchronicity. Have you ever wondered if synchronicities are real, or if your mind is simply creating patterns where none exist? Skeptics argue that what we call synchronicity is just the brain's tendency to seek connections, a psychological illusion rather than a hidden order in the universe. But what if the truth is more complex? What if both perspectives are correct? Synchronicities arise from our subconscious mind while also reflecting a deeper, interconnected reality. Modern science and psychology offer fascinating insights into how our brain detects patterns, filters reality, and even influences the events we experience. The reticular activating system RAS, the brain's hidden filter. At any given moment, your brain is bombarded with millions of pieces of information, sounds, colors, conversations, symbols, numbers. Yet you consciously notice only a tiny fraction. Why? Because of a powerful neural network called the reticular activating system, RAS. The RAS acts as a filter, prioritizing what you focus on and tuning out everything else. If you suddenly become interested in a new car, you might start seeing that model everywhere. Not because more people are driving it, but because your brain has been programmed to notice it. Now apply this to synchronicity. If you're thinking about changing careers, you may start noticing conversations, books, or random messages related to new opportunities. If you're feeling lost, you might suddenly encounter phrases, signs, or even strangers offering advice that feels eerily tailored to your situation. This raises an interesting question. Are synchronicities always external events, or are they a reflection of our subconscious attention? Apophenia, the brain's tendency to find patterns. Another explanation comes from psychology. The human brain is wired to recognize patterns. This phenomenon is called apophenia, the tendency to perceive connections between unrelated events. For example, some people see faces in clouds or hear hidden messages in random sounds. Could synchronicities simply be the brain assigning meaning to coincidences? Perhaps. But if that were the full explanation, why do these events often feel so deeply personal, timely, and life-changing? Why do they seem to align perfectly with our inner thoughts and emotions? Some scientists suggest that synchronicities may have roots in quantum mechanics, the study of reality at the smallest scales. In the quantum world, particles can be entangled, meaning they affect each other instantaneously, even across vast distances. This defies classical physics, suggesting that, at a fundamental level, reality is more interconnected than we realize. Nobel Prize-winning physicist Wolfgang Pauli, a close friend of Carl Jung, believed that synchronicity was not just psychological, but a reflection of quantum principles. He speculated that the mind and the external world might be linked in ways that science is only beginning to understand. If this is true, it could mean that our thoughts, emotions, and consciousness actively shape reality, not just in an abstract way, but in a very real, measurable sense. Another striking discovery in modern science is that the human brain picks up information before the conscious mind realizes it. Studies have shown that intuitive decisions, gut feelings, can be traced to subconscious data processing. In experiments, people were able to predict patterns or outcomes before they consciously understood why. This suggests that synchronicities might be the brain's way of bringing subconscious insights to the surface, manifesting as external events that align with inner thoughts. So, are synchronicities real or just perception? Science shows that our mind is constantly filtering reality and that our thoughts influence what we notice. But does this mean synchronicities are just psychological illusions? Or could it mean something even more profound, that reality itself is fluid, responding to our awareness, thoughts, and emotions in ways we are only beginning to comprehend? This brings us to an even deeper question. What if synchronicities are not just random, but an actual reflection of our ability to shape reality through our focus and beliefs? That's what we'll explore next. The relationship between synchronicity, manifestation, and the law of attraction. The law of attraction and manifesting synchronicities. Have you ever noticed that the more you focus on something, the more it seems to appear in your life? You think about a friend you haven't spoken to in years, and suddenly they call. You start researching a new career path, and opportunities related to it seem to pop up everywhere. This phenomenon isn't just coincidence. It's a core principle of the law of attraction. The idea that our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs shape our reality. But could the law of attraction and synchronicity be connected? What if meaningful coincidences are actually a reflection of the energy we put out into the world? Carl Jung suggested that synchronicities are deeply tied to the unconscious mind. If your subconscious is filled with doubts and fear, you'll likely attract events that reinforce those emotions. But if your mind is clear and focused on a goal, the universe, or your own perception, will start to align external events to match that reality. This aligns perfectly with the law of attraction, which suggests what you focus on expands. Your dominant thoughts and emotions attract similar experiences into your life. This explains why some people seem to constantly experience synchronicities while others don't. Those who are mentally clear, emotionally open, and in a state of gratitude tend to notice more signs, while those trapped in negativity and doubt often block them out. Joe Dispenza's research, The Science of Thought and Reality. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a neuroscientist and researcher on the mind-body connection, suggests that when you combine a clear intention with a strong emotion, you create the perfect conditions for new realities to manifest. In his studies, Dispenza found that thoughts alone aren't enough to attract change. They must be paired with deep emotion. This aligns with what many people report about synchronicities. When they feel excited or passionate about something, signs start appearing. When they feel lost or doubtful, synchronicities fade or seem confusing. Could it be that our emotions act as an energetic signal, shaping the events we experience? Many spiritual traditions suggest that energy follows attention, meaning that where you direct your focus, reality responds. For example, if you constantly think about problems and fear, you're likely to notice more obstacles and negative situations. If you shift your focus to opportunities and solutions, you begin attracting unexpected help, new ideas, and breakthroughs. This aligns with Jung's idea that synchronicities often guide people toward their life's purpose. The more aligned you are with your authentic path, the more synchronicities seem to appear. One of the most powerful ways to attract more meaningful coincidences is through gratitude. Gratitude shifts your energy field, raising your frequency to align with positive synchronicities. Neuroscientific research shows that practicing gratitude rewires the brain to notice more opportunities, reinforcing the belief that life is working in your favor. When you're grateful, you're more likely to see events as interconnected and meaningful, making synchronicities more frequent. Are you creating synchronicities, or are they finding you? This raises an important question. Are synchronicities purely external signs guiding us? Or are they a reflection of our own internal state, shaping the reality we experience? The truth is likely both. Your focus and emotions influence what you attract. But synchronicities also serve as a confirmation, showing you whether you are in alignment with your true path. If synchronicities are increasing, it may be a sign that you're in tune with your highest potential. If they disappear, it could mean it's time to realign. But what if synchronicities don't just happen to individuals? What if entire societies experience them on a global scale? That's what we'll explore next. Collective synchronicities and humanity's hidden connection. Have you ever noticed that certain ideas, inventions, or world events seem to emerge simultaneously across different parts of the world? History is filled with examples of collective synchronicities, where breakthroughs, discoveries, and even disasters seem to unfold in a pattern, as if humanity itself is being guided by a hidden force. Carl Jung believed that synchronicity isn't just a personal experience, but a collective phenomenon shaped by the shared consciousness of all human beings. He theorized that beyond the individual mind, there exists a collective unconscious, a vast interconnected layer of reality where universal symbols, ideas, and archetypes reside. Could it be that synchronicities don't just guide individuals, but entire civilizations? Inventions that appeared simultaneously, the mystery of parallel discoveries. Throughout history, major breakthroughs have often occurred at the exact same time in different places, even when the inventors had no contact with each other. For example, the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell and Elisha Gray both applied for patents on the telephone on the same day in 1876, completely unaware of each other's work. The theory of evolution. Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace developed nearly identical theories of natural selection at the same time, despite working independently. Calculus, Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz formulated calculus separately, yet almost simultaneously. These cases suggest that certain ideas emerge not because of individual genius alone, but because the collective mind is ready for them. It's as if human consciousness itself is evolving in a synchronized way, guiding discoveries to appear at the exact moment they are needed. Premonitions before global events. Do we sense the future? Another eerie example of collective synchronicity is the phenomenon of premonitions before major world events. Before the 9/11 attacks in 2001, many people reported having strange dreams, feelings of unease, or visions of destruction in the days and weeks leading up to the tragedy. Some even changed their travel plans at the last minute due to a strong intuitive feeling. Even more astonishingly, scientists from the Global Consciousness Project, GCP, a research initiative that studies how human consciousness may be interconnected, noticed anomalous spikes in their data just before 9/11, as if the collective human psyche sensed something massive was about to happen. This has led researchers to question, is human consciousness connected in ways we don't yet understand? Do synchronicities occur on a global scale, influencing the course of history? The domino effect of mass thought. Can collective beliefs shape reality? Just as an individual's focus and beliefs seem to influence their personal experiences, mass consciousness may have the power to shape reality on a larger scale. Consider how certain trends, social movements, and ideas spread like wildfire across the globe, often without a single point of origin. The Renaissance emerged almost simultaneously across Europe, marking a sudden explosion in art, science, and philosophy. The internet revolutionized communication worldwide at an astonishing pace, accelerating the global spread of knowledge. The concept of meditation, mindfulness, and energy healing has resurged worldwide, mirroring ancient wisdom, but now backed by modern science. If synchronicities happen in individual lives, could it be that humanity itself is undergoing a transformation, guided by a hidden intelligence? The future of synchronicity. Are we moving toward a higher awareness? Jung believed that synchronicities occur more frequently during times of great personal or societal transformation. This raises a profound question. Is the world experiencing more synchronicities now because we are on the verge of a global shift in consciousness? As more people become aware of the interconnectedness of all things, synchronicities may become stronger, more frequent, and more undeniable. Not just on an individual level, but as a collective force shaping the future of humanity. The real question is, are we paying attention to the signs? But what if you could actively attract more synchronicities into your life? What if there were methods to train your mind to recognize and invite these guiding moments? That's what we'll explore next. Practical techniques to attract more synchronicities. Have you ever wondered if you could increase the number of synchronicities in your life? If there was a way to invite these guiding moments rather than just waiting for them to happen? The truth is, synchronicities are always occurring. The question is whether or not you are aware of them. Just as a radio must be tuned to the right frequency to receive a broadcast, your mind must be tuned into a state of openness and awareness to recognize the signs the universe is sending. If synchronicities feel like messages from reality itself, then how do we listen more carefully? How do we create the perfect conditions for them to appear more frequently? 1. Develop a receptive mindset, paying attention to the signs. Many people go through life on autopilot, too distracted by routine, stress, or technology to notice the small details unfolding around them. This is why the first step to attracting synchronicities is to train your awareness. Start by making a simple shift. Pause and reflect when something unusual happens instead of dismissing it. Ask yourself, does this moment hold a message for me? Keep an open and expectant mindset. Believe that synchronicities are already happening, and you'll start to see them more clearly. This doesn't mean forcing signs to appear, but rather being present enough to notice them when they do. 2. Keep a synchronicity journal, tracking the patterns. One of the best ways to increase synchronicities is to write them down. The more you acknowledge them, the more they tend to appear. Create a simple synchronicity journal. Each time you experience a meaningful coincidence, record the date, what happened, and how it made you feel. Over time, patterns may emerge. Certain numbers, symbols, or messages may repeat, offering deeper insight into your path. This also trains your mind to be more receptive, reinforcing the connection between your thoughts and the external world. 3. Meditation and mindfulness, strengthening intuitive awareness. Meditation isn't just about relaxation. It's a tool for tuning into a deeper level of consciousness where synchronicities become more visible. Scientific studies show that meditation increases awareness and focus, making you more likely to notice patterns and symbols. Enhances intuition, allowing you to sense meaning in experiences that others might ignore. Reduces mental clutter, helping you recognize when an event feels aligned with something bigger. Even just 5 minutes a day of meditation can sharpen your ability to pick up on synchronicities. 4. Set clear intentions. Ask the universe for guidance. Synchronicities often appear when we seek guidance, but many people fail to do one simple thing. Ask. Try this simple practice. Before bed or first thing in the morning, write down a question like, what is my next step? What should I focus on right now? Send me a sign if I'm on the right path. Let go of any expectation and simply go about your day. Pay attention to unexpected conversations, books, symbols, or dreams that may offer a response. Jung himself believed that synchronicities are answers from the unconscious mind, but they can only be received if we first ask the right questions. 5. Trust your intuition. Listen to the feeling behind the sign. Synchronicities are not just external events. They come with a feeling. The more you trust this inner knowing, the stronger your connection to these meaningful moments will become. Ask yourself, when I experience a synchronicity, do I feel a sense of recognition? Does this moment feel like a confirmation or a warning? What emotions arise when this sign appears? Often your first instinct is the correct one. The more you trust these intuitive nudges, the clearer the messages become. The more you acknowledge synchronicities, the more they appear. The key to attracting synchronicities isn't about controlling or forcing them. It's about aligning yourself with a state of awareness, openness, and trust. The more you pay attention, the more signs you will see. The more you record them, the more patterns you will recognize. The more you trust them, the more they will guide you. So if synchronicities are messages, what happens when we follow the signs? Do they lead us toward our destiny, or are we simply projecting meaning onto random events? That's what we'll explore next. Trusting the signs and following the flow. Have you ever followed a synchronicity only to realize later that it led you exactly where you needed to be? Synchronicities are not just mysterious coincidences. They can act as guideposts, showing us whether we are in alignment with our true path. But the real challenge is this: how do you know when to trust them? How do you distinguish between a true sign and your own wishful thinking? Carl Jung believed that synchronicities occur most often during times of transformation, when we are at a crossroads, making big decisions, or searching for deeper meaning, but recognizing them is only the first step. The real power of synchronicity lies in what we do with them. The universe tests your decisions. Are you paying attention? Many people assume that once they experience a synchronicity, their path is set. But what if the signs continue to evolve, depending on the choices you make? Jung and many spiritual traditions suggest that once you make a decision, the universe responds dynamically. If you are on the right path, synchronicities often increase, offering new confirmations, unexpected support, and a sense of flow. If you are on the wrong path, synchronicities may disappear, obstacles may arise, or you might receive a warning in the form of repeated delays, strange misfortunes, or an uneasy feeling. This means that synchronicities are not just signs to observe. They are part of an ongoing dialogue with the universe. How to test. If a synchronicity is guiding you correctly, if you experience a synchronicity and wonder if it's leading you in the right direction, try this simple exercise. Ask for confirmation. If a sign appears, mentally ask, if this is truly the right path, send me another sign within the next few days. Observe your emotions. Do you feel energized and clear, or do you feel uneasy and doubtful? True synchronicities tend to evoke a sense of deep knowing rather than anxiety. Notice the momentum. When something is aligned with your path, things often unfold effortlessly. If everything feels forced or blocked, reconsider. Following the flow. When life aligns effortlessly, one of the most profound aspects of synchronicity is the feeling of flow, a state where events align effortlessly as if life is unfolding perfectly. This concept is reflected in Taoism's Wu Wei, the art of effortless action, where things naturally fall into place without force, the concept of Dharma in Hinduism, the belief that life unfolds smoothly when we are in alignment with our higher purpose. Jung's individuation process, the idea that when we embrace our true self, life synchronizes around us. Flow doesn't mean there are no challenges, but it means that even difficulties feel meaningful, necessary, and part of a greater process. What happens when you ignore synchronicities? Many people receive powerful synchronicities, but choose to ignore them out of fear, doubt, or disbelief. But when we repeatedly ignore the signs, three things can happen. The signs stop appearing, as if the universe has accepted that we are unwilling to listen. Challenges increase. As we resist the natural flow of our path, life becomes more difficult. The same lesson keeps returning until we finally pay attention. Often people look back on their lives and realize that the universe was guiding them all along, but they weren't ready to trust it at the time. The final lesson: reality is always speaking. Are you listening? At its core, synchronicity is a conversation between you and the universe. The more you tune in, the more profound the guidance becomes. If you remain open and aware, the universe will continue to reveal itself to you. If you choose to trust and act, synchronicities will shape your path in ways you never imagined. The next time you experience a synchronicity, don't just admire it, follow it. It may just lead you to something greater than you ever expected.